So, are you ready for our next call? We got Sandra on the line. Nick Ravenhouse experienced supernatural experience in a house with family, saw a ghost, basically. Okay, let's check this out. Hey there, Sandra. Hey, yeah, you're
Hi.
on with Bree and Neil, and I want to hear about your ghost.
Okay, well, this story has been told many, many times at the Nick Raven House in Vicksburg, Mississippi. This happened in the 1990s. I was with my daughter and my fiance at the time. We were going to take a tour, and everybody was in the periodic costumes and everything. Cool. And so when we got there, they said, okay, well, we're still waiting for more people to come in. So I would like for you to go meet us at the 1700 room on to the right. And I was like, okay, we'll go ahead and go up there. So we walked up the stairs. There was a really tiny stairs. And I met somebody up there right in the middle of the stairs, and she asked me what I was doing. And I said, well, I'm going to meet y'all in the room to the right to start the tour. And she said, no. Meet me in the room to the left. So I said, okay. And the only thing I could see was her skirt. It was like a blue skirt. So I went upstairs with my daughter, who was about maybe 3 years old, and my fiance, and we went up there, and we waited and waited and waited, and we didn't know what was going on. And then somebody came by and said, we have been looking for you all over the place. Where have you been? I said, well, there was a lady there, and that met us right in the middle of the stairs and told me to go ahead and go to the room to the right. She's like, we didn't tell you that. So they asked all the other tour guides, and they asked them, did anybody tell her to move to the room to the right? And everybody was in shock. And everybody was just running around trying to figure out who told me that. Finally, they just said, probably you just met our ghost, who is Mary Elizabeth, who gave birth in this room and died in childbirth.
Oh, wow.
And now she's giving tour guides. Guided tours.
Yep. Now she's giving tours.
So,
yeah.
Quick question. When you saw her, did you see her like full figure? Was it, as the saying goes in the field,
the only thing I could see,
a full apparition?
Yeah, because the stairs were so thin. It was like a very old stairs, like from the 17 or 1800s. It was very tiny, very narrow. You couldn't really see anything. The only thing I could actually see was her skirt, and it was blue. That's all I could see.
Okay, you couldn't make out anything else other than her skirt.
Let me ask a quick question here that kind of goes with that. So what do you think the odds are that it was somebody, that this was a thing that they were doing as a prank or gimmick? I mean, honestly, what would you think?
Yeah, we talked about that too. My fiance and I, we talked about that. But the thing is, it was the looks on everybody else's faces. You could definitely tell if somebody is playing a trick on you, they're just kind of like laughing or snickering. No, these people were just in shock. They couldn't believe what they heard. And actually, the story has been told over and over again over there, almost on every single tour. I went over there recently to go back and look, and they told me I was royalty because of my story.
Really?
It was also printed in a book.
Wow.
I did not give them permission or anything, but it was printed in a book. And also, it's been told consistently.
Wow.
What's this location called again? The Raven House?
It's called the Raven House in Vicksburg, Mississippi.
To Mississippi? I hadn't heard of it before.
Neither have I.
Actually. Yeah, it's an old 1800s house, maybe, and then some parts of it 1700s, some parts of it's 1800s.
Oh, it's an old plantation
a lot of people
house.
died there during the Civil War. I'm sorry?
So it's an old plantation house. So were you going up like
Yeah.
a servant stairway in the back then?
Oh, yeah. I know
That's
this.
probably what it was.
Yeah, I did the narrow little stairways they have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's kind of, see, I'll tell you what, Sandra, I used to be very much into this stuff myself, and I had a ghostly experience myself as well, until later on I figured out ultimately what it ended up being anyways. But one of the things that has always kind of bothered me about spirits or specters or ghosts and whatnot is I always think to myself, okay, well, what are they made of? So, what in your opinion, what do you think they're made of?
I mean, that's just a soul. It's a spirit.
Okay, but what's it made
I
out of?
believe
Like,
that
what is it?
I'm sorry?
But what would it be
I
made
believe
of?
that sometimes people. Go ahead.
No, I was just asking, what do you think these spirits, souls, or entities, or whatever, what do you think they're made out of? Like, what do you think they're made of?
Non-physical entities.
Non-physical, right?
Well,
But they still have to be made of
if you
something
look
in order
inside,
to.
you don't have a body. You also have a spirit. You also have a soul. If the spirit and soul get stuck somewhere, I mean, we're just made more of than just a human body, right?
We are more than the sum of our parts, for sure, and
That's
and there
correct.
is energy flowing through us. We have electric pulses, but it's contained within our physical body. So
That's right.
what is it that's left behind?
Yeah, what is it after you're gone?
Spirit and your soul. So your soul is what's inside. Our bodies are just a canvas
Like a vessel.
of what
Sure.
your soul is inside. So
Well,
when you go up to heaven, isn't your spirit going up to heaven, or is it that your whole entire body goes up to heaven?
Well,
so
you're going to be hard pressed to get me to accept either one of those prospects.
As a Catholic,
I'll be honest.
that's what we believe. We believe that our spirits go up to heaven, right? When you die.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So what happens if somebody gets stuck?
But see, this is the part that really kind of I'm I've always wondered. Excuse me. I've always wondered, what is it made out of? Because it's got to be made out of something in order for us to actually visually see it. It has to be made out
for
of
it to be able to get stuck, like she was talking about.
Get stuck, yeah. So if it's some form of energy needs containment, or else it dissipates into nothing. Well, not nothing. It just dissipates and dissipates and dissipates. Yes, it does. Yes, I'm a chemist. That's what I do for a living. So, this is what I know to be a fact. Like molecules and stuff like that, they dissipate. If they're not contained within something, they spread out and they're gone. They just go out into space and whatnot. So that's kind of one of the things that pulled me away from that whole belief is, and I'll let you right now, I'm an atheist myself. I was actually raised Jewish, but I fell out of that a long time ago. But so for that sort of thing, and I used to believe in ghosts too, until I started, understanding more when I got my degree or whatever in chemistry and stuff like that, which, I also did a little bit of physics as well. And it just sort of seems really strange to me that something like that could maintain a form without having something containing it into that space. So for me, I'm not really a believer so much anymore.
So you believe that your body is just made out of cells and that's it? There's no soul, there's no spirit inside of you?
Well, I believe people have spirit, but for me, that clearly means something different than I think what you have. And I do not believe in souls, no.
Okay, so for a spirit, so you believe in spirits. So
not spirits.
Where does spirit goes when you die?
No, not that kind of spirit. I mean, we have spirit. Like we all have a little bit of
as a brain
like
state
energy.
That you can be spirited.
Yeah. That's why people still use the expression spiritual, because we have in Hebrew there's a saying called ruach, which means spirit, literally, but it doesn't mean like a specter, ghostly kind of spirit. It just means we have what's another word? Chutzpah. I guess it's another Hebrew word that I know, which just means like we have energy, I guess you could say. Hey, we're all pumped up and ready to go. That kind of spirit. Like we've got spirit, so do you. We got spirit, that kind of thing, right? So that's what spirit means to me, basically. But yeah, I just, why should, knowing what I know now after going through the schooling I did to become what I am, why should I believe that souls are real when for me, clearly, it just isn't really a thing for me. Like the laws of physics basically forbid it. That's kind of what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's your personal belief. Like right now, I'm sitting right next to another atheist too, but that is your personal belief.
Did you say that you were? Did you say that you were Catholic?
Sure. I am Catholic.
So in your theology, in your beliefs in your theology, how does someone get stuck? Is it is something that God's allowing to happen in your theology?
Well, I'm not sure exactly how that works, but unfortunately, in some situations, there is a soul that can't find its way back to heaven, right? So it gets stuck. It remains, or it could be a recording of something that happened in the past that just keeps on going.
Like a replay
on this situation, it was a little bit more active to me. So to me, it just seems like it's a soul that just doesn't want to leave. It doesn't want to go up to heaven. Most spirits do. Most spirits go up to heaven, right?
Do you believe that it's like part of your consciousness, maybe? Because if you ask me, it would have to be. Because if it would have to be part of your consciousness involved with that.
It's just a personal belief, just like you believe that you're just made out of your cells in your body. You don't believe that there's anything.
We are atoms
and
no, that's the scientific fact. Okay. We are atoms and electrons, and stuff like that. That's what we're made out of.
Right.
So pretty much everything's made out of. Yeah. And then energies, but even energy is matter.
The weird thing is the laws of the universe don't allow these particles that we're made out of to operate after our body has demised. So that's kind of like what I mean. Like, what if they do operate once the vehicle that we are in is finished? What is it that's containing them to keep them in that operating state?
You mean like for your soul? Your soul keeps on going?
Yeah. Because the atoms and molecules involved in that soul would have to be contained in something in order to keep operating that way.
Your body dies. Your body dies and your soul moves on.
But how? That's where I'm kind of lost. I just don't know how.
We expect some kind of dissipation.
I'm not an expert on that, but my belief is that your soul goes, your body dies and your soul goes on to heaven. And in some sad situations, unfortunately, they do get stuck or they just don't want to go. And I guess you don't believe in God either. So that's kind of difficult to talk about with somebody who's an atheist. Unfortunately, everybody has their own beliefs.
Yeah, we all do. Sure.
All right. Well, thank you, Sharon, for calling in tonight. It was a pleasure talking to you and hearing your story and kind of engaging with some of your ideas about the way the spirit world works. I don't know if you've convinced me, but you certainly told a nice little a nice story, and I'm glad that they're still retelling it, because what are these tours if not to retell this, even if it's folklore, to retell these tales. But we appreciate your call, Sharon.
Yeah, thanks, Sharon.
Okay, well, that's your belief, but I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. I think we had a couple more super chats. Let me roll back up to them. Okay, here we go. From Cynthia McDonald, $5. So she didn't skimp on that penny. Neil the 604 atheist, you say out.
Okay.
The Canada way. I love that. And, blessing to you and Bree for doing such a great job. Thank you, Cynthia. Kyle Brewer gave us $4. Didn't have anything to say, but here's some cash. Love you,
Thanks,
Kyle.
Thanks,
All
Kyle.
right. So up next, we have a